Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we are talking about the highly anticipated Moana 2.
It's my job as a wayfinder to finish what they started.
Moana, show our people just how far we'll go.
3 years after the events of the first film, Moana receives an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors and forms her own crew, reuniting with her friend, the Demigod Maui. As they journey to the far seas to break the god Nalo's curse on the hidden island of Motufetu, which once connected the people of the ocean, they confront old and new foes. Now a little bit of context for me, guys. I actually only just saw the original Moana just a few months ago, so the first one was pretty fresh for me. I know a lot of people love that first film. I loved it too. I really enjoyed it. I was kind of mad at myself that I hadn't watched it beforehand. But there was like a weird period in my life that I didn't watch animated movies for some reason. I thought I was too cool for them or something dumb like that. And so there was a bunch of them that I actually missed out on that I'm finally starting to get the chance and go through and watch those. And Moana was one of those. And I can't believe it's been as long as when that first movie came out. But needless to say, after watching that first film, I was really excited and looking forward to the sequel here. The one thing that I was a little worried about going into Moana 2, though, was that, if you guys are familiar, you might have heard that originally this was supposed to be a Disney Plus series. Now, I don't know why that was the plan originally in the first place, especially where everyone loved that first film so much. You would have thought that that would have been an easy sequel directly to theaters. I don't know why they made that decision, but they decided to switch it to theaters, which was the smart choice. But I was a little worried that it was going to maybe feel a little episodic and choppy. But I am happy to tell you guys, at least in my experience, it didn't feel that way to me. Obviously, you have Moana back once again, played by Auli'i Cravalho, and she delivers an excellent performance once again. You also have Maui is also back voiced by Dwayne Johnson, and the chemistry between those two characters is definitely one of the highlights of the film for sure. Their banter back and forth with each other and that relationship that they developed in part one is on display again and is a big reason why fans fell in love with these characters in the first place. And then this time around, there are some new characters added to the mix, including one of my favorite additions to the film was Moana's little sister. She was just so stinking cute in the film. She was a fun addition. Moana actually gets her own crew added to this movie as well when she sets out on her adventure. And I felt like everyone that was in that crew did bring something to the table, whether it was just a little dynamic between the characters, the relationship that they developed throughout the film, some comedic moments throughout the movie. And so I all felt like they added something to the film, which was really nice as well. And sometimes that can be the problem with sequels, because it's the natural thing to go, okay, we got to go bigger and better this time around, and so maybe some new characters get added to the film, but then you realize you don't have enough time to maybe give every character their fair shine, and so some characters are in the movie and feel kind of pointless because they're not really doing a whole lot. And I did feel like these couple characters that got added to the crew, they did have a purpose. And I also just loved getting to see, more people in this world as well, where last film, for the most part, it kind of focused mainly on Moana and Maui. So it was nice to kind of see more of her people this time around get a little bit more involved. And I don't know if anybody else kind of feels the same way, but I was really excited to have the little coconut guys back again. You can see, I don't know if you can see that over there, but I got that from watching the film, and they were one of my favorite aspects of the first movie, and so I was really excited to see them come back. I just really loved their design, so that was a pleasant surprise for me. And of course, it's a Disney animated film, and so a lot of people, I should say, are expecting songs, and you certainly get them. Now, I would say they're maybe not quite on the level or as catchy as the original film, but at least for me personally, that's not a huge deal. Like, sure, everyone loves those catchy Disney songs that we get, but that wasn't something where I was like, oh, well, if the songs aren't up to the level of the first film, then this film's just going to suck for me. No, I was more interested in the characters and their story, and so, yeah, they're not quite as good, but I did really enjoy the songs that we did have in the film. And there is also a good mixture of laughs and heartfelt moments here in the movie too. I found myself smiling a number of times after certain scenes, and so you still have that heart that you have from the original movie back in here as well. And the animation is absolutely gorgeous, not only for the characters, but specifically the water, which is probably one of the most important aspects of a Moana film. Just the way that it looked and moved and the different shades of blues and greens. It was stunning, and so hats off to the art and animation team here because they just absolutely killed it with Moana 2. And I also really enjoyed the third act of this film. I honestly think that I might have enjoyed this third act more than the original one. I would say the first film is probably I still prefer that overall as a movie, but the third act, I think I like this one a little bit more than the original one. And just the way that they kind of set things up, obviously I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers, but they do set things up in an interesting way that I'm excited to see where they could possibly go the future of this franchise. And make sure you guys, I'm sure you probably heard it by now, but make sure you guys stay for the mid-credit scene. It's a fun mid-credit scene, and a lot of people were getting up in my theater, so make sure you stay for that. Overall, I really enjoyed getting to return back to this world and go on another adventure with Moana and Maui. While it might not be quite as good as its predecessor, it's still a fun time at the movies. So as far as the score, guys, I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, I really enjoyed this. I was so excited to jump back into this world, even though I didn't have to wait a long time where I just seen the original one earlier this year. But it was a lot of fun. The theater that I was at the end of it, people were clapping, and so that's always a good sign. And yeah, I just think it's a really fun time, especially if you got, kids and stuff like that. Take them to the theaters. I think that they're going to enjoy this movie, and it will certainly be one that I'm going to be picking up once it comes out, adding it to my collection. I'm assuming they'll probably have a steelbook for it, and so they'll go right next to my steelbook for the original film. But yeah, I'm curious, have you guys seen Moana 2? If not, is it something that you are planning on seeing? Let me know down below in the comments. And then, do you like it better than the original one, or do you still prefer the original film overall? So let me know down below in the comments. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat. And I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.